Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air.
It's magic.
'Cause love is on the air.
On TV.
So love is on the air.
Podcast.
It's a podcast.
Podcast.
Love is in the air.
It's magic.
'Cause love is on the air.
On TV.
So love is on the air.
A podcast.
It's a podcast. Andy, Liv, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod, it's the Bachelor Pod. It's a podcast about the Bachelor.
The Bachelor Pod starts now.
Darkness has spread over the kingdom of the Bachelor. The black heart of Nick Vile has been infected with demons of the witch's shroud. Tune in now to find out his fate.
Whoa. On this, the special Halloween edition of The Bachelor. Don't stop listening. It's not actually Halloween.
And it's also
He
not
did the
last week's
mash.
episode, which was actually the scary one.
That's right. That's true. Very confusing.
Oh yeah,
opening.
that was the scary one. Fuck.
Yeah.
This one was emotionally frightening.
Yeah, I guess you could say
I mean,
that.
we by the end of this episode, we have no idea where we're at heart-wise with Nick.
Sorry. That was, I'll cut out me saying that. Yeah. Yeah, man. This was an exciting episode.
It was
Yeah,
really
I
good.
think we all agree that after last week's stinker, this one completely redeemed itself. And baby, I'm back on track on Bachelor Nation. The buzz around the office today was palpable, and I a lot happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone lost their minds.
Everyone
and I loved
everyone
it.
cried. Every single person. There was a bit of a death threat with the choking.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
Everybody cried on the beach.
And we
Oh,
cut.
maybe.
We're not sure. We talked about this briefly before, but that might have been a Bachelor single episode record for number of people nixed.
Yeah.
Like
6 cuts in one ep.
That's true, because they had the rose ceremony off the top. We were talking about that. It was
at least like at this point in the season.
Yes.
You know, like on episode or week. What is it? Week 6. I
Five?
think.
Yeah, no, it's 6. Because I was actually doing some research before. I was looking at past seasons to see when the villain would get ousted every season.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I wanted to see if they kind of held or stuck to script and would boot Corinne this week. In what's his name? Ben's season, it was week 6. Chad got booted week 5 in The Bachelorette. So I was thinking it was going to be this time, which leads me to believe that maybe Sarah's right. Maybe Corinne does make the fantasy suites.
she does. He
Well,
want that.
we finally got teased with the Platinum Vagine
Yes.
clip
Yeah.
for next week. So I'm hoping that once that plays out, she's done.
I'm predicting, I'm going to agree with Sarah. I think she does make the fantasy suite. And I think the fallout, I don't know if he'll actually fuck her, but
He will.
it'll be enough. The girls will get wind of it or whatever. It'll be enough for Vanessa to leave next episode on her own accord.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Wow.
See, I think
'Cause they've
she's
been-
till the end.
I don't know, man. They've been laying the groundwork for her
They
leaving
have.
for a long time. When you look at the clues, you got to follow the clues.
But they lay the groundwork for us to think that.
That's true.
You know how many tricks that they try to play on us every
Yeah,
episode?
but
They
I'm
trick us.
smart now. I'm
They do trick
come
us.
on.
Glenn, I'm
Come on.
surprised. Usually I'm the one getting fully tricked every
It sounds like you're being a bit tricked here,
You're
bud.
pulling a Sarah for
Yeah.
sure.
Listen, here's the
How
thing.
about-
Here's why. I mean, I've said this before. I don't need to reiterate, but you guys all think Corinne's going to fantasy suites. I got a little problem with that because I think it's Vanessa, Rachel, Danielle M, all the way fantasy suites. That's it.
I agree.
That certainly makes sense. And just to show how crafty they are, at the end of last week, remember they were like, they played the sound bite where one of the girls was like, you can't send 2 women home. So then we're like, well, that's weird. Well, it's got to be maybe Corinne goes home at the beginning of the episode. It's
Yeah.
like, what else could it be? Well, I didn't even consider that there'd be another 2-on-1 this week.
Yeah, they
So,
tricked us.
Color me tricked.
I mean,
Yeah.
I knew that Corinne wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we all
hadn't
said that,
seen
yeah.
that Yeah, but I never thought that there'd be another 2-on-1. So well played, producers.
Yeah.
Well, let's
played.
let's
dive in. Let's start
dive
off the
in.
top
I mean,
here.
we're we're putting the
We're just a reminder, everyone. We are bi-coastal right now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Andy and Sarah are comfortably. We're staring at them in the bedroom of the apartment, their Airbnb or whatever right now. Looks like a
subletting.
nice bed back there, guys.
It's a
Yeah.
nice bed, I gotta say.
It's a nice bed. We got a good bed. We got not one of the worst couch I've ever experienced.
Easily the worst couch I've ever
It's just a bunch of
stayed on.
slats, and you can feel that.
But Sarah did a fantastic job really cushioning it out.
Yeah,
though.
I used because we bought a really soft blanket for the bed because that's what we like, and so I took all the other blankets and I made some cush.
Yeah,
Now,
you did.
Sarah, do you remember the couch Andy and I owned when we first moved to Toronto over a decade ago now that we got from our good friend Scott Moore, and the couch appeared as if it was wet all the
it
time.
felt
It felt
wet
wet all the time.
100% of the time. It was the grossest couch I've ever been on.
I don't think Sarah was around then. You never,
I was
Yeah, I
around
don't-
for your and Gary's red couch. That was
Yeah, that one was bad
Brutes
too. This one is worse than that, though. I can positively say
It looks
Yeah,
nice.
the Lippincott couch was at least comfortable.
it was at least
Wet,
comfortable. Exactly,
but comfortable.
Wet
Yeah.
but comfortable.
This one looks nice and looks modern and new, but when you sit on it, it feels
like
like you're sitting on a
hard
wood slat.
2x4s and like
Yeah.
bits of metal poking
Ooh.
up your ass.
So is that an IKEA then we talking about? Maybe
No,
maybe
it's
not.
like a cheaper buy.
It's like a shit brand couch.
I didn't know there were couches cheaper than
Like
IKEA.
a giant tiger couch if they
Something like
made
that, yeah, for
couches.
sure.
If Giant Tiger made couches, this is it. This is a couch you find at Winners
or
or
Walmart.
TJ Maxx.
No, Winners has nice couches. This is like a
Yeah, we've got to
Walmart.
translate this to American.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
the giant tiger equivalent?
Ooh, I don't know.
Walmart. It's
Dollar
like a
Tree.
Walmart.
Do you have a store in the U.S. that sells like a bunch of dog shit and really crappy food?
But it's not a dollar store.
and like shitty Duck Dynasty shirts and like
Yeah.
like pool accessories in the summertime.
Ill-fitting flannel pajama pants. That
Makeup
kind of
from the
thing.
80s.
Yeah, like it's not like TJ Maxx and Winners we know are the same thing, but what's your Giant Tiger, America? Tell us.
Hit us
yeah,
up.
let us know.
We got to
Yeah.
know this because Andy and Sarah are there right now, so they might need to go get values somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's a
Yeah.
story for another day. Let's get into The Bachelor. Let's pick it up from where we left off last time, which is in the middle of the goddamn bayou where Taylor had just performed a voodoo ceremony. She was heading back into town, which the show led us to believe she sniffed them out herself.
She walked
walking the streets
and walked the whole way.
Yeah.
from the swamp
Yeah.
all the way to I don't know where they were, some warehouse for dinner. And just as we expected, the big reveal of that was nothing because all she did was tell Nick that she thought Corinne was lying and that he better
Yeah.
watch out. Something he's heard before.
I feel like, I'll say one thing off the top, that Corinne handled this super well.
Well, she had a good episode overall,
Agreed,
and
yeah.
I think one of the strengths of the episode was that she kind of took a back seat to the other drama that kind of happened naturally, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she's kind of like a lot of the other women have said. She seems like she is a master manipulator. She knew that she shouldn't say anything and just say, "Hey, it's fine. Talk to her. No
Yeah.
big deal. Play it cool," and it worked.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of the other women like her. It seems like the group that's
Yeah.
there now is
Yeah,
having
we
a hoot.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead to the absolute end of the episode, the kind of
after
blooper
credits, yeah.
clip.
Yeah.
Corinne was hanging out with everybody, and she seemed very normal.
Well, yeah, we've said that before. And I don't know if I used this analogy on the podcast or just with you, but you picture it like there's all their footage is like a big raging river, right? And then the editing is a big dam. And then they poke a few holes in that dam and they only let a little bit through. So Corinne, they happen to poke like all these holes that make her look crazy.
Yes.
But they didn't poke any of the normal holes.
No, I feel like she'd be. I'm more into her being a work friend at this point.
I'm into her being a work friend, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
She's great for quotes. Like in that first bit, she said, what I'm learning today is how cats have 9 lives and bitches have 2.
Yeah. I loved how she said two. I'm like, oh, bitches have 2 lives. Okay.
She gave an extra life to the bitches out there.
How generous.
So that was all right.
I love having a person like Corinne as a work friend because you get a window into this other lifestyle that you have you are just not familiar with, and it's fun to vicariously experience that through this work friend when you have your lunch break together and you talk to that person
Yeah.
or
And
at
when
a
you're
work
at-
function or something.
when you're at work, you feel like you're like, wow, how did I get on her team? Because you're forced to be on each other's team, and there's like cognitive dissonance there or something.
And
you know what I mean?
know she has the good gossip.
Oh yeah.
She got that good.
She got that crazy life that she comes in wasted after a night of partying and tells you all about that she wouldn't usually tell her friends about, but she'll tell you about because you're the work friend. You're not going to talk to anybody about this.
Yeah.
You get
And
all the juice.
she'll end every story with, "Oh, I shouldn't have told you that." But
Yeah,
she does it anyway.
exactly.
And that's why you like it.
Yeah.
So that was virtually inconsequential because Taylor just left anyway.
Yeah.
So we had one last goodbye with Taylor, who I don't think will be memorable from the season because like as soon as she left, shit started getting real, which was this episode, which was great.
Do we see Taylor in Paradise? I could kind of see it.
If
feel
Corinne
she's
goes
too
to
smart
Paradise,
for it.
Taylor will go to
I
Paradise.
think Corinne is
Corinne,
already.
absolutely.
She's not. Corinne's not confirmed, but I did see something on the internet that might hint that she was probably going to go. And like, listen, we all know she's not winning this.
Yeah.
So let's just say she's going to Paradise. I could see that happening. I could see them bringing in
Chad's
Taylor.
already signed
Yeah.
on.
Chad. Oh, that's. Oof.
Chad and Corinne.
Anyways, we're jumping the gun here. That's for the
Don't
that's for the end of
both
the
live in
show.
gossip.
Florida? Oh, Robbie lives in Florida. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We had a rose ceremony right after this whole pointless exchange between Taylor and Nick. And we said goodbye to some people who we should have said goodbye to a long time ago. Jamie, Josephine, and Alexis. I do love Alexis. And
Yes.
actually, I got no problem with Jamie and Josephine. Josephine, other fact, she's Queen Bird in my mind.
Queen
But,
Crazy Bird.
Alexis, we knew she wasn't going to win. She'll be great on Paradise if she makes it, though, right?
Oh, I would love to see her in Paradise.
Can't wait to see Alexis on Paradise. She's a real gem of the season. She was someone who it would have been so much more fun to see more of her.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you just don't get a lot of her personality in seasons like this. They focus on the drama, of course.
I feel like, especially for the women, they got to give at least a 10-minute party because they all got dressed up. They all did their makeup.
Yeah, I
and then
know.
it's all over. They wasted their dresses. What if this was their best dress that they brought?
That's
they're
what makes it all the more devastating.
Yeah.
With those fallen faces,
And
the tears.
it's really a behind the scenes poker game that we're not privy to, but it's good to think about it because I you know what, I looked at Alexis's outfit and it was kind of it definitely was true to the Jersey Shore motif. So I don't know if she knew she was going. She's like, whatever, I'm gonna wear my club outfit. Here you go, America. Look at me.
She's great.
She was great. I'll miss her a lot.
I do. You're right. You know, I do miss the cocktail parties.
Yeah.
Man. Like
Oh yeah.
that. But like, I know that Nick like kind of knows who he likes, and that sometimes just from the second or third night or whatever, like who you're really gelling with. But like the whole point of this is to mingle with these women for weeks at a time and like develop relationships. And like, are you really doing that if you're just skipping the cocktail portion of it the
No.
whole time? Like. Because obviously on group dates, you don't get to talk to everyone enough, right?
And that's what it seems like they're replacing the cocktail parties with, because every group date now has those cocktail parties.
Yeah.
When now, I mean, at this phase of the show, pretty much after the first couple weeks, the group dates are virtually the whole cast anyway, with the
Yeah.
exception of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, pretty
true.
much.
Yeah,
true.
gone are the
So-
days when they leave people behind. Because even at this point before, they would still sometimes leave somebody without a date and cause a lot of drama.
Oh,
now they
yeah.
have tons of drama on the dates. We'll get to it, but on the group date when Corinne got pushed.
Oh, that was a group date for the ages, to be sure. But before we got that, we were whisked off to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, which looked like a beautiful locale. Finally, the ladies could get into their bikinis and flaunt their stuff, which Nick badly needed to see because that's a factor in this show, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bikini bod.
Yeah, he was stoked about St. Thomas, and I feel like most of the people were like, "Where's that?"
I've been to
Except
St.
Jasmine,
Thomas.
who's been there before and is over it.
Yeah, well, surprise, surprise, Jasmine. It didn't turn out well for her, this little trip to
Yeah.
St. Thomas.
No.
But they must have been itching to get to old St. Tom because they were in Waukesha. They were in... New Orleans is nice, but I bet half of them have been there, and it's just like, that's like me going to Winnipeg, you know what I mean? It's like, it's in my backyard.
I
In
feel,
all fairness, New Orleans is a little bit better than Winnipeg.
Let's say
Winnipeg is the
Vancouver.
New Orleans of Canada, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Winnipeg wishes it was the New Orleans
It
of
is
Canada.
that's like the
Please.
party center
If
of
anything, Quebec City might be the Winnipeg of Canada.
I'm saying
or
Van-
the Winnipeg, the New Orleans of Canada.
I'm saying Vancouver Island, but
The whole island?
Victoria.
Victoria is the New Orleans of Canada. Okay, that's fair. You know what? Maybe. You know what? No, never mind. I found it.
Yeah, right.
St. John's, Newfoundland is the New Orleans of Canada.
Okay. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
you're
You
right.
guys can speak to that. I've never been.
George
Accent.
Street.
George
Bye.
Street. Yeah.
There's the
Come on, man.
accent.
It's a party. It's like it's like going to a different country, kind of. It's a different culture there.
I showed my boobs
That's
there.
true.
They gave me some pearls.
Pearls. That's really good.
I didn't show
Wow,
my
a
boobs.
better exchange rate, I guess, up here. You get
Yeah.
pearls instead of just crappy plastic beads.
Yeah. When I was there, a bum threatened to smash my cell phone because he thought I was taking a picture of him. Which anyone who knows me would know that I would never do that. Why would he think that? I don't know. But it
Just didn't like the look of you, I
no,
guess.
it was scary. Anyway,
Oh man, I had a weird engagement with a homeless dude the other day. I won't. Should I get into it? I don't know. It's not really relevant.
Yeah, not relevant to this, but we could have
But
a
it was
homeless
cool.
homeless story at the end of the
okay.
episode.
End of the
we'll
app.
see
I'll
where-
tell you the story.
I got some
Good
homeless
idea.
stories too.
Good
we'll
idea.
rock it out.
So right off the hop in St. Thomas, Christina made good, or I guess Nick made good on his promise to allow Christina the proper time to tell her story by inviting her on this fabulous one-on-one date where they went on a seaplane, and I don't remember what else they did. But the whole thing is really centered around Christina's story, which was amazing and definitely a highlight of the season. And I love Christina.
Yeah.
Best Bachelor story ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I really
Hands
do think
down.
you're right. It was a harrowing tale. It was heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. It was incredible.
And it was like she wasn't breaking down too much during it. It didn't seem like she was using it, you know?
No, not at all.
Like
No.
last
Oh,
week,
no.
Rachel with her going to a funeral story. It's like everyone's been to a funeral. Like this
That
one,
was a bit of a reach.
yeah, exactly. Bit of a reach. Lives completely
and like
right.
obviously like Raven's obvious lie of a story.
Yeah, just a brutal lie. What a lie!
It was
What a
liar,
brutal
Raven.
lie like Raven.
And look at this. This one, I 100% believed Raven's lie. It
Yeah,
sounds
and this
like
one she eats lipstick, and you're like, "Yep, that happened."
Raven watched an
most-
episode
Oh, yeah.
of All My Children and said, that happened to me. And then,
We've got the soundbite here just real quick.
Oh, great,
I remember eating lipstick.
great.
Confirmed.
great soundbite, great sound.
Yeah. Well, that was the kind of thing where when it first came on, I was like, oh, we got to capture it. She says she eats lipstick. And then 2 seconds later, realizing it's part of this harrowing tale. And that part where she's like, my mom asked me if I ate anything. I said yes, because I had eaten lipstick. And then I got kicked out of my house at 5 years old. I
And
mean,
she never went to visit her or check on her or anything.
and then I just thought, like, is that the craziest part of the story? Because when she was 12, had she not been adopted, she almost would have certainly been, like, had to go into the sex trade, which
Yeah,
is
and the
insane.
quote that did it for me, and I actually felt something real during somebody's story that they tell on The Bachelor, was they said if I stayed in Russia, my life would be in black and white, and if I went with them, my life would be in color. And I was like,
Yeah.
even when I say it now, I get all verklempt. It
Well,
was
yeah.
gorgeous. Just
That aspect of the story where she's like, I didn't want to leave Russia, not because I didn't want a new family, but because I'd been in the orphanage so damn long that I didn't want, like, the orphans were like my family. Like,
Yeah.
geez, man, what a story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think the positive thing out of any negative, experience like this, which is her life is about 100 times more difficult than what I've faced easily, probably way more than that. But she must have a real thick skin now. Like,
Yeah.
she'll be able to handle whatever comes down the road. And if I were Nick, I'd be like, man, that's a quality I'd like.
you guys know how old Christina is, right?
No.
Without checking, how old would you guess she is?
I think she's
27?
like 25.
See, she's only 24.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So the Yarmo
it's-
index
but
wreaking
it's-
havoc.
But here's where the Yarmo Index might have a bit of a loophole. Christina has lived the life of like a
Whoa.
like much older person. Like she's gone through so much from being 5 years old on. Like she's so mature for
We
her
could
age.
all
you can
learn
tell
things from
that.
her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other
The other 24-year-old is Corinne, and look at the difference between those two.
huge difference.
the other loop or hole in the Yarmo index this season, I feel like Nick is not mature.
he's
He,
smart.
for a 35-year-old, is quite immature.
He continues to touch the butt of every date he
or
goes
inner thigh.
Or
interaction
inner
with.
thigh
Or
Whitney
inner
when
thigh.
he knows damn well he's kicking her off the show.
What did Taylor kept saying to Corinne that she was emotionally unintelligent or something?
questioned her emotional
Yeah.
intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotionally what?
She said she had a low emotional intelligence.
And I feel
Yeah.
like Nick does. I think
Yeah,
he's a very
exactly. That's
intelligent
what
guy.
I guess. That's what I mean.
That's a good
And
point.
that's why I feel like the Yarmo index is kind of blown to
You're right.
bits this season because I can see him more with a 25-year-old than a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: it's blown to bits might be a bit of an exaggeration because we do have almost all of the oldest
Yeah, that's true.
people
It's
still on
holding
the show, right?
true. Yeah.
It is holding true quite well. We got our 29-year-old and two 31-year-olds are still here. We've only lost a 30 and a 29-year-old.
But
Or
I
two
agree
29-year-olds,
that
or no one. Yeah.
I at the beginning I was focusing more on like, oh, those girls are too young, they don't have a chance, and I'm like, they do, man. Nick doesn't know it. He walked into a room, cried, and left. Like, like no more. Somebody
And
tweeted and lived like it. Somebody tweeted at us. We'll talk about it when that moment happens. But it was spot on, and I hadn't thought of it that way. Anyways, we'll get to it.
But like
Being
it's,
vague.
I mean, sorry to harp on the Yarmo thing but like, it does say a lot that Danielle Lombard 27, Jasmine Good 29, Jamie King 28. They lasted until this long, right?
Yeah.
More than all the other ones. Which, if you look back throughout the season before Jamie and that week, 23, 24, 23, 23, 26,
Yeah,
25,
okay.
like everyone, right?
I guess I'll retract blown to bits. I'll say that it's still in play, but
It
it's
is-
not quite as big of a factor
Yes.
this time.
Yeah, well,
around.
I was going to say, like, what you're saying that is true is that, like, I think you do have this opportunity for someone like Raven, Corinne, or Christina.
Yeah.
They all could go to the end,
Yeah.
right?
And
like,
I think-
it is possible.
I think with what Liv's saying, we're going to get a surprise. I think we have set up that I do not think Danielle, whichever Danielle is
Maltby.
left, will go to a fantasy suite. It will be one of the younger ones.
Now I'm like,
and I think
maybe
it's Rachel.
Christina.
I think it's Rachel, Vanessa, and Corinne. Those are my
I
three.
think Christina. I think
ooh.
Christina now gets in over Corinne.
Yeah, me too. I
Don't
think so
count
too.
Raven out either.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
think
true.
Raven
It's
might
tough.
get a home date, maybe, because he wants to see her store. But
Gary.
What a mistake! What a mistake!
What is the
I
real
wanna see
Gary
your
sell
store
again? We were
so
trying to remember
Gary's
that,
dresses.
That description you found where it was like Gary's boutique. We sell dresses, and there was something else. that was
bottoms
really,
or something.
Yeah, I think it was bottoms.
Bottoms.
I'm just shocked that D-Lo is 27.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of age.
I love that they call her D-Lo.
And I wish we knew that well before she got kicked out.
And while you're checking that Gary's boutique thing, friend of the show, Bridget, also our resident plastic surgery expert, found an old reality show called Role Models, ROLL Models, that features Danielle quite heavily. And it's a show. It's a show about import models and go-go dancers in Orange County.
Wow.
Import models being car models,
Weird.
and it sucks.
And it's
you can watch
featuring
episodes.
Danielle Lombard.
Yeah.
D-Lo.
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 She goes by Danielle Lowe on that show. L-O.
Weird.
Yeah, Bridget also confirmed rhinoplasty.
Rhinoplasty and obviously a breast augmentation.
yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot. This is the biggest season for that, I find, in the youngest women.
Mm-hmm.
And it more just like, you do whatever you want. But it just makes me sad that our society has made people think
Yeah.
that to be on a reality show, you got to put plastic in your face at 22. You know?
Well, and Liv and I always comment whenever you see a shot of the women with either less makeup or no makeup at all, you're like, oh my God, they're so
They
pretty.
look so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
many of them look so much better. I mean, all of them do.
All
really.
of them, I'd say.
Getting back to just like who we think is going to continue on here. This date was a big moment for Christina. That story was so huge for her, and like it's almost like you can't, like, if you're going to pick a dark horse now, it's like, well, yeah, you're picking 1 out of 6, but like Christina kind of comes out of nowhere and is like,
Yeah.
I think pretty primed to be top 3 now, maybe.
It's weird that she seems more mature than Nick. I mean, there's over a decade. I mean, I guess it makes sense when you consider how much life experience she has, but you just can't see them together for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, none of them seem right for Nick because Nick sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like him
That's what it really
more
comes down
than
to.
I did before. I feel like I think
I do like him more.
Alana, who we were watching it with last night, kind of hit it on the nose for me where he hasn't screwed up yet really talking to the women. He screwed up a bit with like fooling around in that bouncy castle, but as far as his conversations, he's been super honest. He hasn't really
True.
let anyone on. And I think he's being very genuine. More
yeah.
genuine than any other Bachelor or Bachelorette, honestly, that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, when the conversations are going well, like the one with Christina, they do seem really real.
Yeah.
And then the ones that go bad, such as the one with D'Lo, he tunes out, which is really the natural way of things, right?
And then
Like,
he
he's
breaks up with them.
Yeah.
He's
so
better, but he's still, it's like, oh, he hasn't screwed up. Well, he hasn't, but he still kind of sucks.
But
Yeah,
do you like him better
but he's-
than Ben? Like,
He's
I think
handling.
I do like him better than Ben, yes.
He's handling these tough
I-
situations well.
Like, physically, no, but otherwise, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying I'm like, I would rather probably kiss Ben, but I'd rather talk to Nick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd rather be friends with Ben,
Yeah.
but I'd rather party with Nick.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You know
and
what I mean?
I'd rather
Like-
kiss J-Lo over anybody.
J-Lo.
Not
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's a great musician and
Sure, she's a babe.
Legendary beauty,
Legendary
star
beauty,
of stage,
obviously.
screen,
I
mean,
and
if J-Lo was an
prolific
option.
artist, really. At the bottom line, actress, singer. She has her own.
I think
fashion
triple
line as well.
threat.
And you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that didn't want to kiss old J-Lo.
Yeah, I'd
guess
kiss
we all-
J-Lo too.
Young
Above
to
all, we
old,
pick
male
J-Lo.
and female.
Bottom line, Jennifer Lopez is the best contestant you could ever have on one of these shows.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be awesome. I
And
would
then
love to-
JoJo.
for the love of J-Lo.
JoJo's still my favorite ever.
Oh yeah, I think I'm more of a what's her name, Vancouver Caitlyn. I'm
Yeah.
a Caitlyn man myself.
Yeah, I
but,
like Caitlyn.
I like
Caitlyn's
I like
my
I like
fave.
JoJo too. And hey, JoJo and Giorgio are still together.
Yeah.
I'm a Jasmine
Incredible.
guy. Jasmine all the way. Jasmine Lorimer.
Jasmine Lorimer.
Oh, Jasmine,
who
yes.
showed up on Instagram on old Kevin's feed there for all you Canadian fans. Yeah, she was in his apartment recently.
Oh, nice.
Yes, she
I
was.
don't know, whatever. It's all still
Celebrating his
sham in my
birthday.
book, but
Okay, so
Anyway.
let's get into...
yeah, let's get into that shit group date.
huge.
So this one involved Rachel, Raven, Vanessa, Corinne, Danielle, Maltby, and Jasmine, and they just headed to a beach in St. Thomas. No big deal.
Yeah.
You know, for some drinks. They had a few drinks to loosen up, a few tall shots too, which paved the way for the infamous beach volleyball game.
The
Man.
beach volleyball massacre.
I mean, I hate volleyball. Like, I hate it.
You should be a good like you have the physique to be a great volleyball player.
I know. That this came up when we were in Mexico, and I realize I'm fighting my body, whatever. But I feel like I wouldn't have an emotional breakdown over it, like some of these other
I
women.
think- Like, they've had... These dates are no longer the dates where you dress up in sumo outfits and fight each other. Like, those are gone. The days of those are done. So to be like, you're competing for my love. Now compete some more. Is pretty shit, and they were all really drunk, and the
Yeah,
only
but
one
it's
that
fine.
didn't cry was Corinne.
It's good TV, though. You got to admit. And listen,
Yes.
I got to hand it to the producers. I tweeted this last night, but you've got to hand it to the producers who somehow knew that simply playing a normal game of beach volleyball would make everyone cry. Like,
Yeah.
what in the
Well-
world? We're like,
Oh,
well, I don't know. Let's
bravo.
get them drunk and make them play volleyball.
The drunk aspect, I think, was fascinating because they had at least one cocktail each, and then they did shots of tequila. So that's a couple drinks there anyway, and
And a day
everyone was
drunk,
getting
you've
messed
never
up.
eaten enough.
Corinne was loaded. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
was
Hoot, though.
being so funny. I loved it. She was the
You know
only
who-
one who seemed to be drinking, like, in addition to the shots they all obviously made them do.
You know who else was wasted? Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas!
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate vanilla!
Okay, what
Remember
was
that part?
It sounds like
that-
just screeching.
Was that worth
That
it?
was Vanessa.
That was her saying
Yeah.
Christmas. Remember when they're like, what do you, Halloween or Christmas? She's like, Christmas.
It was the loosest I've ever seen Vanessa. She was just going wild on that catamaran.
And
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Oh, well, this was also we got a chance to see some of their bikini bods.
Yeah.
And first of all, they were all stunning, but Vanessa really looked good.
Vanessa was rocking it. Corinne has a great body, but I gotta say, she had some drowsy panties on, and they were getting in her butt crack.
And it starts when you get drowsies. It starts looking like a diaper out there.
Yeah, she had a
Yeah, a bit of a
mode.
dive. Yeah.
I'm gonna echo something that our friend Alana mentioned while we were watching it. You got to hand it to Corinne. She's the only one on the show who eats.
Yeah.
She eats a lot,
true.
and she doesn't give a shit. Like, she just eats, and I like we said, like, she's got a banging bod too. But
Yeah.
like, you can tell, like, it's It's not like so fit, like
No,
crazy.
she's curvy.
But
She's
it's like
good.
It's more
but
natural,
Good, though.
yeah.
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah.
It's
It's
a
a tight
sexy body
curve.
for sure.
My favorite part of this part, I think maybe of the whole episode, was how everyone was equidistant across the beach crying. They were all like, you could see when you looked at Vanessa crying, you could see Danielle crying down the beach. And, like,
Jasmine pushed over Corinne. You gotta mention that part.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
As our online bud, the Bachelor husband, who you should follow on Twitter, he mentioned like somehow this ended up worse than Pig Island, and that was Pig Island.
That's true. That's a great point.
Like somehow Ben weathered that storm pretty, or I guess was it Ben? Yeah, because JoJo.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ben.
In large part because of JoJo, but I mean that date was around the similar time as this
Yes.
in the season. Kind of people are on edge. Group dates getting a little tiresome. But I mean, Pig Island didn't go this bad.
No, and they were dealing with buckets of wieners and hungry pigs. You know?
yeah.
How does it get? How do you deal better on Pig Island than on a regular beach volleyball game? I don't get it.
I feel like I was Nick in this situation watching it because I was like, ooh, this is fun. They're all playing volleyball. Ooh, oh, wait, what? Oh, and everyone's crying all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
yeah.
Everyone breaks out into tears.
It was so weird how Rachel seemed to be the first one to be like, I've had enough of this. Like, fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
not playing this anymore.
Yeah. Rachel
like-
and Vanessa seem like two of the most poised cast members
Yeah.
there, and they were the quickest to lose it, I feel like.
Because they're falling
Yeah.
in
I
love.
wonder what it was that Rachel really was like, I've had enough of this. It felt like to me they were playing beach volleyball for like a really long time or something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I
And
think
the
it was
weather looked terrible.
terrible weather. I think they were all. Well, Nick set the thing that you're playing for my love, so they wanted to play well. And I think volleyball is also one of those sports where you might assume you're good at it, and then you start playing, and it's frustratingly hard.
It sucks.
And for really
It hurts.
competitive people, who all these people are competitive, otherwise they wouldn't be on The Bachelor. That just broke their brains. You throw in the liquor,
Yeah.
it's over.
And there was the mention of that did, and I think was partly why Rachel got frustrated, or somebody did, was he kept checking in on Corinne, and Corinne just kept fucking off and doing whatever she
Yeah,
wanted.
good
And he
point.
kept following her like a little puppy. And that would be
peop- yeah.
frustrating.
And that's been
because-
happening all season. So
Yes.
yeah, to happen during a really frustrating time, that's got to break several of their brains, which it did, especially for Jasmine, who one of the contestants said it, but she just got way inside her own head.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit that it had to have been hard for her not getting any one-on-one dates or even a rose, like a group date rose for this whole thing. So she had zero reassurance, which she
Yes.
kept reiterating. So I don't really blame her.
Raven said it perfectly. If she were a vegetable, she'd be a turnip because she's turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
that's
great
a-
quote, this time from Raven, yeah.
Solid, yeah. Yeah, Jasmine lost it a bit here and talking about choking him and stuff.
So
and that
many
was
times.
Very awkward.
Now we have to. I want to go have a drinking game, and you have to take a shot every time she says, "I'm going to choke you." I want to choke you. Can
And
I
then
just choke
actually
you?
tries choking
Have
you.
you ever been choked
Yeah,
before? Because I
very
really want to
awkward.
choke you. It was nuts.
I love how it. Oh,
I was just gonna say you're right. Like I don't blame Jasmine either, though, because like
Yes.
that's a lot to put someone through, and then to get them that drunk during the day,
Yeah.
and then that was at night that she was saying all this stuff. So like they'd been drinking more for sure. Like she was
big
wasted.
time.
Oh, of course.
I love how the choking thing started with, she was mad at him, and then
Yeah.
something like fired in her brain, like last ditch effort, let's go the kinky route, and then she's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna choke you for sex. Like, has anyone ever choked you? I'm gonna be the first. Which
'Cause-
Nikki no likey.
Wrong way to go on that one.
yeah, because then she would switch it to, "Have you ever been choked? I would really like to choke you right now." Like,
Just actual anger coming
just
out.
actual.
Yeah.
And she kept putting her hands around his neck, and he kept
Yeah.
like just shifting away slightly
Yeah.
and really uncomfortable.
I did that today. We were telling somebody about that episode at work, and I kind of like made a mild choke at her to show what it was all about. And after I was like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you didn't touch her neck, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
choked her.
probably
a
Her
bit.
neck.
You probably
I
shouldn't
choked-
have done that.
I choked her for like 20 seconds just to show her what it's like.
So that was dumb of me. I gesticulate a lot, so I blame that. Now I don't even remember. So Jasmine's gone. obvious. I don't even remember him did they show giving
Nope.
Raven the rose?
No, they didn't. Because
Okay, I
I
thought
remember
so.
hearing that and I'm like, did we even see that? And yeah, we're known to fast forward like here and there, but no, I'm pretty sure we
I
didn't
also-
get to see that moment.
Yeah, I also missed that if they did have
I'm
it.
gonna say I am getting very frustrated with the amount of attention they are not giving Vanessa. I have never seen them talk to each other anymore, and then they show like her being upset. But I'm like, do they talk to each other? Is there still a connection?
Well, I
they
feel like
show-
that means she's even more of a front runner because it's often the ones that you
Yeah.
don't see for a
Yeah.
long time, and then they seemingly come out of nowhere, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Same goes for Danielle Maltby.
Yeah.
She's barely done anything this
Yeah.
whole season,
although
technically.
didn't they have a little not one-on-one time, but like a little group date time, and it seemed a little awkward.
Well, she got
Or
the
what?
rose. She got the rose on the spooky ghost house there.
She did?
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
yeah.
She
she
did.
got that group date rose. Like that's a big thing, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. But, I mean, if you look at the final 6, I mean, if you're just looking at evidence alone, you'd have to put Corinne almost number 1 because she had most screen time.
Yeah,
But then if you think about connection-wise, I think it's anyone's race,
Well,
which is amazing at this point in the season, which does not give me confidence Nick is going to end up with a fiance here.
Well,
at
based
least
on
one
what
that'll
happened at
last.
the end of this episode,
Yeah.
he may not.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd be out
Yeah.
if I were. anyone
Yeah,
there.
right. But
So next date.
Yeah, let's, yeah. That date was awesome. Way better than the ghost house, I thought.
yeah, that was
date.
my
So,
probably my favorite
great
part,
save.
other than Christina's story.
so next was the 2-on-1 that was Whitney and D'Lo. And D'Lo was acting like she was all surprised, which I don't really blame her because they had a good 1-on-1 in Waukesha, which was, fairly romantic.
Yeah.
We all saw through her and saw her
Yes.
as being supremely boring and interesting and
yeah.
really not into him, even though she pretended to be. And
She
it
wants
was
to
a pretty standard 2-on-1 here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted, I forgot to mention this off the top, but we were absolutely jaw-droppingly shocked that Whitney was even saved in that rose ceremony. We
Yeah.
thought-
yeah.
I knew
thought
she'd get
like
saved.
Alexis or maybe even Jamie was going to make it.
Yeah.
I thought Jamie might make it
You know
over
what?
Whitney.
When
Yeah.
in doubt, you got to pick the hottest one, and Whitney
Is.
was the hottest one. And she's
suppose.
from Minnesota, too, let us not forget, which is sort of, they had that hometown connection at the beginning,
Yeah.
or at
True.
least the same general vicinity. So I had a feeling Whitney was going to make it, but I knew that she'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
So, I knew she wasn't going to make it.
He wanted to get to the really hot place so he could just rub her inner thigh right before he broke up with her.
Now,
Yeah.
to his credit, she's got some very nice legs.
Yeah, she does.
for sure.
But they all do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
you're
favorite
right.
part
They're
of
all
this whole
gorgeous.
of this whole date is that he was wearing the tiniest, brightest shorts.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to be like breaking up with people and having intimate conversations and you're wearing the littlest shorts, it's very funny. Have you guys ever worn shorts to break up with someone?
I don't think I've ever even broken up with anyone.
Like, have you
in
been half
person.
naked?
No.
Be like, this isn't gonna work anymore.
That and that ties into some of my frustrations with 2-on-1s is that Nick was pretending like, whatever, we should just have some fun today.
Yeah.
We all know that 2-on-1s aren't about fun. You park in a desolated area.
Yep.
You take turns meeting with him, and then he makes a decision. Like, there's nothing fun about it.
Yeah, and then you
So
leave the
don't
person in the
pretend.
salt flats, and then you're done.
Yeah.
This one
Or the
at least
voodoo
wasn't
forest.
quite as awkward because they were friends. Like the two women
That's true.
seemed like they were buds. So
For
it
sure.
was-
It
they were
was-
just both kind of like, why are we here? But there wasn't that added like, oh, they hate each other. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
So
Still the awkward zoom away in a helicopter while leaving them on the beach. To
yeah,
get
there's
sand in
always
their
the
face.
stranded shot. That's
Yeah.
very awkward.
Yeah, well now Whitney can hang out with Olivia on the deserted island together.
Whitney or Olivia just emerges from a cave with blood all over her mouth, like holding the carcass of a dead pig from Big Island. Like,
yeah, exactly.
we feast this eve.
I found the pig mating area.
And then he went on.
You got to talk into the mic.
And then he went on. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. We're in LA. I'm all wibbly wobbly. He went on the dinner.
Turned into a little 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Was this where they went to like some weird like location where it was all gross?
Yeah,
and
they went in like the
dirty?
sewer or something.
Yeah.
What was that? It looked like they were walking around in the sewer, and he's like, "Oh, look at these hieroglyphs, just like graffiti all over the sewer or whatever.
Yeah, that was weird. They're like, it says like love. It didn't say love.
say
There
that.
wasn't anything on
It
there.
wasn't even
Bullshit.
writing. It was like old marks from like an old prison bed or something. Like,
I
Yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
it's like they knew he was gonna dump her too, so it's like, yeah, who gives a shit where we go?
yeah. Hey, I found this old like. There's an old sewer hole at the creek back here. Like, let's go in there and see if there's a place.
I did miss this. I guess I was eating blueberries.
Fair enough. You were eating blueberries.
I was really into the
Fresh
bloobs.
California blueberries.
bloobs.
Or
They were so good.
Driscoll's from Mexico, in any case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this-
well,
This one was awkward, right? D'Lo really
It-
poured her heart out, said she was falling in love with him. Oof.
Again,
this was really, for anyone who defended D'Lo on that Waukesha date, those who were, whatever,
didn't think
mean
she was
toward her,
boring.
like I was, can say in your face, because she's boring and not into Nick at all. She lied to him, basically. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm falling in love with you. Yeah, right. Come on.
I also just think Nick's not into her. Like,
No.
the most awkward part of it is that she said, "I'm falling in love with you," and then she's like, "I know this sucks, right?" Because they just held hands because she thought, "Oh, he can't say it." Meanwhile, in his head, he's like, "I'm gonna break up with her." When she
Yeah.
just thinks it's that moment in every Bachelor when somebody reveals how they feel, but he can't really say anything till the end. It was really
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, it's sad.
She's just a pure dud.
And it's when he,
Yes.
I hate how he's like, what sucks about it is that when I first met you, I thought you were one of the ones that I could take to the end. It's like, well, yeah, I guess that sucks, but you're purely basing that on looks. So it's like, you know what? You were a babe, and it's too bad I don't like you.
and then I got to know you, and then I
Yeah.
realized
Yeah.
you're a dud.
Yeah, it turns out you're a can of old paint. So I can't be taking you to the finals. Sorry. Go back to your small business.
Yeah.
3 businesses that I will visit.
Yeah, we got to visit them. We got to take a few
Yes.
pictures.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, you
definitely
do.
And when she was on Role Models, I think she was 23 at the time, and she had just opened her first salon. So, yeah, she's been in the biz a while.
Neat.
Don't know if she got help from mommy or daddy. Not sure.
I'll say this though: were you guys obviously like watching the date? You kind of felt it was coming, that she was going to get
Yes.
let go.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But if I told you at the beginning of this episode that she was also like, there's going to be a 2-on-1 with D'Lo and Whitney, and Danielle is going to also be let go, would you be shocked? I think I would have been
No.
pretty shocked.
I would have been shocked
No.
had they not teased it in the, because once we found out there was another 2-on-1, it's like, oh, both are going home because of that tease that
Yeah.
they made us think.
Oh,
it
I
was
had
Oh,
a
the
yeah.
feeling
Taylor
early
thing,
on that
right?
that was going to happen, and then it didn't shock me because she's boring, and he has this breakdown, and I was like, oh, that makes the breakdown make sense.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
guys are
just
judging
figured-
it based on previews and stuff. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
No, I just figured based on the Waukesha date, she sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
she
she's
sucks.
so boring. So I feel like another, intimate one-on-one time with her, he would not be able to handle it.
I guess I shouldn't have been shocked in seeing who is left. I just guess I thought he would have kept her around for another week.
Anyways, let's get to
Yeah.
the juicy
But I guess he didn't
part.
need it.
Let's get to the big breakdown of his.
Big
that's
breakdown.
that's
Oh,
what we
yeah.
got to get to. She was boring. She's out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace,
He
peace,
gets
peace,
to the
peace.
hotel. He walks into that room of women, tells them all, I don't know if I like you guys enough, and he walks out. Who tweeted that, Liv? Who tweeted that at us?
I think Elisa.
Okay, I'm going to
Oh,
check.
yeah, Elisa.
She
yes,
had it
was, yeah.
Yeah.
spot freaking on.
Friend of the show, Elisa.
Yeah.
It was,
Shoutouts.
I've never seen a tweet so friggin' perfect.
It was really great. And yeah, that's
Here it is.
Here it is.
Nick barges in, tells 6 women who like him that he's afraid he won't like them back, cries, capitals, leaves in a huff. And then
Oh,
hashtag
yeah.
twerp.
Love it.
Yeah, what a twerp move.
It is a twerp move.
Well said, Elisa. Well
Yeah.
You
said.
know what? This being the precursor to Corinne's attempted fuckathon kind of makes me have respect for Corinne in that he kind of needs that right
That's
now.
what Andy said.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, wow.
Mind of a man.
Seeing,
man.
Yeah. Seeing this, where he comes out and goes, oh, yeah, I'm not sure how much I like you guys now, which is brutal.
It's so brutal.
But you know what? You got to hand to him. He's being honest, I guess. Anyways, whatever.
But he left. Mine's
whatever
the
you think
leaving.
about that. Whatever
Nobody-
you think about that. Let's just set aside just for a second here.
Just for a second.
Just
we
for
have to get back to it.
I know we will. We'll come back to it. But then showing the platinum vagine thing and Corinne like really going up and trying to fuck his brains out. Hey, that's a proactive move. That's a Bachelor move. Like that's what
It
you
is
need
a
to
Bachelor
do.
move.
So
It's a
now
power move.
they really painted it as this like brutal like like she's like, sex crazed, and all this, when really it's just like, hey, this guy doesn't think he likes me. I'm going to show him why he's going to like me. I'm going to go spend time with him, and I'm going to go get intimate with him. Right? Like, to me,
Good
I'm like,
call.
oh, actually,
And
that
they don't
move
have
is...
sex, anyways.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They
I
don't
don't
do
think
it.
they do
So she
either.
just goes, has a
Yeah.
quick makeout.
But I gotta say, I think that move by Corinne is a good move, and like, why isn't everyone else doing something
Yeah.
similar? I'm not saying they have to go try and fuck them, all of them. Like, but at least,
Why isn't everyone doing that?
why isn't everyone banging this guy?
This is
Why are
what-
they just having orgies all the time?
But for sure, I do appreciate the fact that she wants to go spend that time with him.
But I think that happens like the next day he's in a different outfit or whatever. What they don't show, so I don't think it happens, is anyone getting off their butts and going to his room. There are no rules in The Bachelor, as we
Yep.
know. Somebody
Yep.
chase after him and talk to him in the hallway. He's obviously very emotional, and I don't think he should have left. I think he should have stuck with those women and talked to them. That is a
Have a
real
chat.
weird move for me, but he did. And if you really want to be a winner, it is a competition. Chase after him. Vanessa, go be the person. Everyone respects you. They won't care that you go do it. Go talk to them.
That makes me wonder if that was a producer move, if they kind of held them back and like made them do interviews or whatever, did something to prevent that from happening.
I was just thinking that.
Really make it as dramatic as possible.
I just think they sat on their hands because no one wanted to have the guts to do it. I really do.
I think you're both right. I think it's a producer move to make Nick do that, kind of. You know what I mean? And then leave. But I also think but I don't blame them for sitting on their hands at the same time as I do think Corinne's move is good. But because they're just like, what the fuck? Like,
I know, but if
what?
you're actually feeling like,
You know what I mean? Like they must be like, what am I even doing here then? This guy
Listen-
doesn't even really like any of us. What the hell is this then?
listen, if I was on the show, I'd be breaking the rules, or there are no rules. I'd be going up to his room constantly, kissing him, asking him what he needs, having coffee together. I'd be doing it all the time because you never get to hang out with them.
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
and also as we know, these guys are tired of competing for Nick's affection.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
they said during the volleyball date, but like that's the premise of the show. Sorry, guys. Like,
Yeah,
that's what you
that-
signed up for.
And I think one thing that kind of makes it so not that his behavior was acceptable in this sort of cry and leave situation, but we're talking Nick Viall here. This guy has been dumped on national TV twice during an engagement. So like he is emotionally fragile right now, and the fear that he has of not finding someone, like, I mean, I can dig that. I mean, it's all bullshit anyway. I mean, he's not actually going to marry anyone, but for the purposes of the narrative of the show, like, if this were someone who came in fresh from a Bachelorette season and whatever, got eliminated mid-season, you'd be like, well, that's really weird. But I think because it's Nick, I don't know. The game has changed, man.
Makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't totally excuse him. Like, I agree. I think showing up and crying and leaving was kind of weird. Bachelor or Bachelorettes in the past have been like, you know what, I'm not feeling great. I think if we just sit down and chat, you know what I mean? I think JoJo did that.
Yeah.
And it always works out nicely.
I feel like his next date, his next one-on-one will be very telling.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at the final 6 here. And who do you guys think it's going to be? First one-on-one next episode. They've all had one, right?
Yeah. I think we're gonna see either
he's
a
gotta do-
Vanessa or a Danielle.
Yeah. I think it's got to be.
And
It's definitely not gonna be Christina,
I'm gonna lean
so-
towards
Or Corinne. Corinne hasn't had a one-on-one.
she
think she
hasn't?
had-
No, she's only had a
she must have at
two-on-one.
the beginning.
Okay.
Nope.
I have a question for you guys. Do you remember seeing Corinne in Finland?
I don't know.
I
mean, that
don't.
editing is so...
Of course, it's all tricks, but based on all those shots of Finland, I
Don't forget, though,
really remember seeing Corinne.
some of those shots were from Waukesha because they were also in log cabins and
Yeah.
it was really cold out. So
Yeah.
I bet if you went back and looked now, I don't know.
Even this
Sarah, you
talk
got to
with-
do your annual end of the season reanalyze the
Yeah.
opening.
Well, I already have halfway through. And even with the talk that happened last night, they had different shots of, like, in the first one, you don't see Vanessa in that room
Yeah, you
because they were
mentioned that
trying to
last week,
show
yeah.
it that and now she is. Like, a couple of those girls weren't in the room in the first shot, so who knows? They keep people
Yeah.
out for very specific reasons.
I'm
But
just
I
wondering-
think Corinne's going to get a date, and I think it's going to send everybody, because she hasn't had a one-on-one. She's only had
If
a
she
two-on-one.
hasn't had a one-on-one, I think you're right. I think it will
I'm
be
just
Corinne.
wondering if next week Corinne's out. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I
don't-
think too. I think
I
you're
don't
right,
know,
Liv.
man. Well, let's because this season's been pretty nuts with no real clear front runner, I'd wager. Let's look at the 6 here and let's pick our final 3 out of the 6.
Okay.
I think a couple of you already have,
I have
but
mine.
so we got Vanessa, Corinne, Rachel, Raven, Danielle M, and Christina.
I have mine. Rachel.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down so that we remember.
Rachel, Vanessa, and Corinne.
Okay, I like those.
And the
All
only
right,
other person is maybe another youngin instead of Corinne, but I'm going to go with Corinne.
Okay.
I have Rachel, Vanessa, and Raven.
Yeah, Raven was my other option.
Raven.
Ooh, this is hard.
This is very hard. I think it's going to be Vanessa, Rachel, Danielle Maltby. I love
Vanessa.
saying Danielle Maltby. I don't know
Me
why.
too. Kirk,
Yeah.
Kirk
But-
Maltby.
But Christina, I think, has a strong possibility of subbing out.
She's the
for-
dark horse for
Maltby.
sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
See, I think I'm gonna include Christina because I think
I'm
she's
just
got
sticking by that
momentum.
Yarmo index. Yeah, she does have momentum. She does have
And
momentum.
I think I'm gonna go.
But that group date rose for Danielle M, I think, is.
It's going to be old news, though.
It seems
And then
like
I-
she's not in it right now because we haven't seen her in a while. But I'm
But
telling you,
Raven
it's
got
still
a group
there.
date rose, too. So what are you doing? Let's talk about that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that for Danielle
Let
M,
Glenn
I
say
think
it.
it's a possibility.
So you have Christina, Rachel, and
I'm
who
gonna say
else?
Corinne too. I'm with Sarah on this one. I think Corinne's gonna sneak through.
So who are you saying? Glenn?
I don't think she's gonna win,
No.
but I think she's final 3.
She's not final 2. She won't meet his
Okay,
parents.
wait. Sorry, Glenn. What were your 3?
Christina, Rachel, and Corinne.
Christina.
So the only
Rachel,
one we have
Corinne.
across the board is Rachel.
And
Yeah,
is there
Rachel's
anyone we
in.
didn't pick? No, I think we picked everyone.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'm
I like
going
Raven.
now to your top 2. And who do you
Ooh,
think
okay.
will meet his family?
So everyone take away one from their picks.
Yeah, and mine is Rachel and Vanessa are my top
Yeah,
2.
same.
Me too.
And mine's gonna be Christina and Rachel.
Great.
Ooh.
So Vanessa's not even in your top 3. That's insane to me, Glenn.
I'm gonna guess that she leaves on her own accord before this thing
He's
is out.
going to Montreal.
I think you're
He's going to
being
Montreal.
tricked.
I thought that at the beginning, but now
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You know that when they want you to think something, that's not what it is.
Hey, the longer Corinne's there, the shorter her fuse is going to be, and she's going to blow, baby. It doesn't matter if it's St. Thomas, New Orleans, Finland, Waukesha,
She won't leave.
Winnipeg.
She won't leave. Think of Sean and Nick.
Well,
That
that's
is
true.
The biggest fuse I've ever seen, and he lasted, and now they're together.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vanessa's going to stay. And my number 1, can we say number 1? My number 1 is Vanessa.
You think Vanessa's got it?
Yeah.
I think it's tough to say. I don't know. I think Rachel might have it though.
Mine's Vanessa.
Well, I mean, at least, and I know Bachelor Nation agrees with us on this one. If Rachel doesn't win, I think there's
Bachelorette.
it seems almost a certainty at this point that they
She's so cool.
take
Although-
hers.
And beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Rachel would be the number 1 choice. I could also see Christina with that story.
She's 24.
I know, but still, I could see it.
The story, America has fallen in love,
I don't know.
unless.
But the fact that she's Russian might not go over well.
You
I
know
don't
Yeah,
what?
the
Let's
whole
see their
immigrant
Instagram
thing.
Although
followers.
apparently, who knows what's going on with that these days? Apparently,
tumultuous times.
tumultuous times. Russia's fine. Apparently.
Okay,
Jeez.
Christina has 84.7 thousand. And
For,
for
Instagram
Instagram followers.
followers?
And let's see, Rachel. What's her last name?
Lindsay.
Rachel Lindsay?
Rachel Lindsay.
She
yeah.
only has 54.4 thousand. They take that shit into account, man.
Okay.
Maybe if we marry Instagram followers with the Yarmo index, we'll come up with the ultimate algorithm for solving this mystery.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Vanessa will definitely be the Bachelorette if she doesn't win because she has 251,000.
Wow. Pulls them out of the
Already.
water. Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe Vanessa then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have some gossip. It's
Okay.
not big, but
Okay,
Andy,
let's get
can
to
you
it.
do the song?
Sarah's Gossip Corner. It's Sarah's Gossip Corner. Hey, get your gossip here. Get your gossip there. Because it's Sarah's Gossip Corner tonight.
I'm Sarah and I'm gonna gossip.
You can get that. It's your own
Yes,
song.
I do. I do what I want. Okay, so I feel like there is some rockiness going on with Lauren and Ben. For one, they haven't got married yet. It's been a year, and that's usually around the point where this shit happens. But also, she put up a picture. One of the only one she went away for her birthday. He was not there. It was with her and her family and her friends, and she put up a picture of them and said, "We ain't perfect, but we trying." That's
they're
a weird
through.
post.
Yeah.
They're staying together for marketing
It's
opportunities.
over.
They're going
It's
to juice
over.
every nickel out of that thing, and then it's back to old high school Benny, wherever he does for a living. And old what's her name is going to go back to whatever he's doing, and we're never going to see them.
Two
ever
boring
again.
duds that just aren't going to end up together. And also, there's been lots of drama around Jordan and his brother. And lots has been opening up about that. I don't remember all the details. I just know that there is drama there, and his brother and him keep talking about it. And he keeps talking about it. His brother keeps being like, I don't want to talk about this.
Jeez. Well, I mean, from everything I've read of that whole situation, it certainly sounds like Aaron Rodgers is the one who's the dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
it sounds like he doesn't even talk to his damn parents, and they seem
Yeah.
like sweethearts.
Yeah,
I
they
think.
do.
I don't really remember, but
And also, in other gossip, this woman followed us here named Muffins. And Andy left though, but here she is in LA.
Oh, it's quite warm here, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're really
geez.
sticky.
I've brought plenty of man for you, though.
How did you get it through customs?
Oh, I hid it under me dress. I
What?
hid it all up in me underwears, up in me knickers. Yes,
Oh, that's gross.
yes,
nasty.
absolutely.
Well,
Warm
I guess
mom, straight from the barber's bottom.
since you're here, I guess we might as well ask you a few questions. You're in LA. What's the best way to get sand out of a car?
Obviously, you take 2 pots water and 3
Right.
pots mom.
Oh.
Mix it around, get all sticky, and then that'll get your sand out straight away. That will.
But won't it just
That
keep it in with all the marm?
No, not at all, love. You'll get the sand right out. It sticks to mom like a magnet and iron filings, that.
Well, I've had a really hard time while I've been here because I'm so pale and the sun's so strong.
yes, you need to-
How do
yes.
I protect myself? Like my face, because I don't like putting
You need a tanning
sunscreen on my
agent.
face. I like because it.
That's a tanning agent you need there.
Oh.
Yeah, and the best nature's tanning agent, of course.
Marm.
Marmalade!
Yeah, okay.
Of course it is. Yes.
What happens to marmalade
candy
when it's been in the
peel.
sun too long? Does anything?
Ooh, dries to a even thicker paste with an even more concentrated flavour of orange peel and cloves. It's lovely that. You rub it on your face and that'll help you with the sun.
That's
It will.
disgusting. I just got to ask you, who's your number one pick for this Bachelor season?
Ooh, well, you know me. I've got a soft spot for nannies, so I've got to take me girl Corinne, of course.
Oh, that's great.
I'd wait on her, no problem. I'd give her plenty of marmalade pasta, and if she slice up the cucumbers and dip them in, Mom. That's what I say.
Okay, get out of here.
Okay,
You're
Get out of here.
everywhere.
I'm good to go.
Put it all over the cat. Come on, Bella's filthy now.
Oh man, that
Oh.
sucks that you guys have to live with
Yeah, she
fucking
lives
M&M
with us
muffins
now.
on your trip here.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
She lives in our weird bachelor's apartment that we're subletting, which only has two bowls, 2 plates, two spoons.
Guys, I did get from our friend Phil. I did get my
yes, okay. So we got a quick
you
while
do
you're
this?
looking that up.
Yep.
I'll just say thank you to our patrons who have continued to support the show. We're absolutely blown away. We love it so much. Derek Bachman just today pledged $2, so we got
Thanks,
another
buddy.
D-Brock.
person
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Boy, Derek.
Yeah, we got another person in the $2 chat, monthly chat,
which will happen soon.
which I'm going to message everyone as we're done this podcast. We're gonna hook up a date for that.
do a
in time.
doodle.
I don't believe I got to mention. Did I mention Sarah Walther last time? Yes, I did. Kaylin M. We got Ellen Two Do's. Ellen.
Oh yeah, Ellen.
One of Ellen's our main girl. And Madeline Stein. All
Shout out
helping
Madeline
out.
Stein.
Guys, honestly, it's too much. You guys are the damn best.
The damn best.
And that helps us get to this goal that Sarah set.
My goal was once we reach $10, I'm going to do a video character that's trying to get on The Bachelor. And the first one in just sent it. I was not feeling well, so I was going to shoot it today, but I wasn't feeling great. It will come this week. It's from Phil Moorhead, our good buddy. And
Phil
he
Moorhead,
said, if you still
shout
need a
out.
character for your next video, is it say Camisa? And she milks snakes.
Shamisa?
Shamisa, and she milks snakes. Well, she's going to be coming at you. Shamisa, who milks snakes this
Ooh,
week.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be wacky.
It's going to be wacky. I got one other option too, but this was the first one, so I'm going to be going with Phil's.
Great.
That's
Yep.
awesome. That's going to be an exclusive. I mean, we're talking Sarah Hillier here, Second City, main stage, Toronto. Just a world-class performer. So
Yep.
I think you patrons, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I brought 3 wigs with me to LA, and I am already planning a shopping date for more.
We are wigged out and ready to
We're
go
wigged
over
out,
here.
and you guys can pick which wig. I got a brown one, a blonde one, or a gray one. Which one is it going to be for this? Send us a tweet,
Aw, beauty.
by Thursday, and you'll have it.
Great.
You guys got anything coming up in LA at all? Anything booked
Nope.
that people can come see?
We're chilling out hard.
Chilling
I
out
will
hard.
at the end of the month have a Dancing with the Comedians.
Yeah. We have a,
Nice.
we have a,
Ooh, that's always a good show.
we have a show coming up. I'm not actually sure the date yet. Maybe
Well,
I'll
we'll
mention
send
We
it.
have
out
two- we
some
have a couple
tweets
shows
from the account there.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
hopefully you guys can come meet some of us guys one day because we're open to that.
We might
Why
have
not,
a
eh?
meeting coming up. I'm having a Twitter conversation with someone.
That's right. We might have a
Oh,
little
yeah?
bit of a fan meeting coming up here,
Oh,
actually,
great.
in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. So great. We're
Tremendous.
very, very stoked about that. But that seems to be it for this week. What a great episode of
Huge.
The Bachelor. And hopefully you guys had fun listening to this one.
Can we say what we thought of it in one word?
Sure. Please go around the table here in one word. What'd you think of this episode?
Exotic.
Okay. I'm going to say drunk.
Salty.
Ooh.
Life.
Yeah, great.
Because I
Awesome.
think this represented the ups and downs of life. It represented the good parts, the bad
Hey,
parts.
you don't
And
get
as
to say all
Christina
this.
showed-
It's
It's
one word.
Yeah, and the salt is the sun, the
No,
sea,
you
the,
don't
the,
get to do
the
that.
Well,
tears, the
exotic because of the
sand.
exotic
It's
story
one
that none of
word.
us have ever heard before.
Anyways, okay. Listen, I said drunk because they all got drunk. All right, now, thanks for listening, everybody. Of course, reach out to us on social media via Twitter. We're at The Bachelor Pod individually. I am at Andy Hullbone.
I am at the Sarah Hillier. That's the @TheSarahHillier. There's 2 H's right
You don't
beside
need to
each
say
other
that
there.
because you already
right
said you
beside
already,
each
you
other.
already for sure.
I'm at Olivia Macaulay.
And who am I? I'm Glenn Macaulay, 2 N's. Macaulay like Culkin. My Twitter brand probably does not match the style of The Bachelor, but food for thought, man.
Hey,
Check it out.
that's for sure extra. You're getting into Sarah territory now. with all
I
that.
love it. Keep going, bud. What else do you want to
I
say?
got on that
You
life
don't
thing. I love to
My
explain
Twitter,
it. I
I
love
use my
talking.
talking.
pubes a
Hey,
lot.
I'm just a
Keep
guy who
going
loves
pubes
attention.
tweets on my Twitter.
This is unnecessary.
Pubes. P-U-B-S. Pubes.
P-U-B-S? Pubes?
P-U-B-E-S. Pubs.
Pubs.
A lot of pub tweets. I like going to pubs.
If you want to shoot us an email, we read those on the air sometimes, whenever we get them. We're thebachelorpod@gmail.com, and we love hearing from you guys. Whether it's an opinion you want to give us about our show or just about The Bachelor, we'd love to hear it. We love feedback of any sort from you guys. And of course, check out our Patreon if you feel like you want to support the show directly, where it's patreon.com/thebachelorpod. And for everything and anything else, you can go to thebachelorpod.com. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
We love you.
Bye, bitch.
Bye.